This conference will now be recorded.
And for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, August 13th, 2024. We're at our weekly supervisors meeting at courthouse. It's available by GoToMeeting also and recorded for a future viewing. We have a motion, or excuse me, agenda in front of us. Motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Motion is our second.
I'll second.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Approve the minutes for the August 6th meeting and claims. Let's look at that. Motion to approve the meeting and claims.
So moved.
Motion is there second?
I'll second.
Second. Any discussion?
Roll call, Todd.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Sydney.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Motion passes. County attorney, general discussion.
I don't have anything for you today.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Approve the sheriff's report for July.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I have these for you in the amount of $50,345.71.
Motion to approve the sheriff's report.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Any other discussion?
Roll call, Jim.
Aye.
Sydney.
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Todd.
Anything else?
I don't have anything else for you guys, unless you have questions for me or people here have questions for me. So,
Thank you much.
all right, thank you.
Department head discussion. Anybody have anything for? Nothing, Rachel?
I had a couple questions on the Homestead 65 that people have signed up for. If you're curious if it's on your tax statement, it is above, like where they give you the taxable, and 100% value, assessed value on the top. It comes up there, it's not on the bottom where the credits are, so it's similar on the tax statement to the military exemption. That's all.
Question, comment on the sheriff's vehicle being transferred to secondary roads. Last couple of vehicles, we just transferred it without a financial thing between departments because it's all in the general fund anyway. When we talked about it, I don't remember if it was last week or week before, at least to me, the reason the comment came up in regards to a financial transfer is because the assessor has her own levy rate. It's not part of our general fund, so that's why that came up. That, is the board okay with doing it as we, since it's gonna go to the engineer's office proposed, I think you want it, correct?
Yes. We'll take it.
So if they want it, is the board okay with doing it as we've done the last couple of trucks where it's just a simple transfer?
I'm okay.
Okay with it?
So, yeah, it's all taxpayer money, I think.
Good. Good.
That's okay with the assessor's office, right?
They would, I think they're,
They don't want it.
Yeah, so, okay. Yep.
Okay, so all I have to do.
County engineer update.
Couple of things, the salt shed base, the walls, they're gonna probably try to deliver them next week. They didn't have enough days in this week to make it work. So, and then the following week, I think they were still scheduled to try to put the hoop up. So the last 2 weeks of August here, we'll be getting that put together. Maybe they'll come in early, I don't know. But we're looking at least at the end of the month, we'll have that put back up. We had a pre-con last week for our small paving projects. It sounds like the first week in October is when they want to start those projects. One thing that we discussed in the pre-con was Lime kiln's pretty narrow. They were wondering if they could pave that full width, because if they do try to do half width, there's not enough shoulder in certain spots to get trucks around the machine. So what we've talked about was if they can do one lift in a day or less than a day or a full day. So I think what we're gonna do is they're gonna knock on doors, let people know that, well, when they start paving, they're gonna start from the west side, close the road. I mean, people can get in and out while they're paving, but just for that short amount of time as the asphalt cools and gets consolidated, they won't be able to drive on it. So I think it'll be okay. It's gonna be a day for one lift, the second day for the other lift, and then probably when they're shouldering, it'll be another day for shouldering, just to try to get trucks around the shoulder machine, because that's even wider than the paving machine. So it'll be 3 days of inconvenience, but it'll be open every night for full traffic. It's just one of those things we discussed to maybe make things work a little smoother for everybody, keep everybody safe. So just a heads up on that. Been kind of working with a landowner. Saw the McIntyre wants to kind of make McIntyre look a little bit more nice as you come in from the south. They've got a tile, or there's a tile outlet that drains into the ditch. Got a pretty deep trench in it. They want to start mowing that ditch. And I'm working with them to try to figure out a way that maybe we can get, not the county, but they can bury a line or cover the line to get it to an outlet where it would be able to give us a better flow line in the ditch, not block water, and still be able for them to mow that for, I don't know if it's 800, 1,600 feet. So just so you know, we're working out some sort of a detail there to see if they, if we can make it work. We can't, but you guys are the controllers of the right of way as well. So I just wanted to keep you a heads up as to what may be happening down there. It's not gonna be at any county expense in that regard. The landowner is gonna try to talk to other landowners about doing it, because it's not necessarily their property, but they want to beautify the right of way a little bit. I think it's a good thing if you want it to look nice. They're willing to stick the money into it. So as long as we don't block any water, I'm gonna work with them on a little project that they want to do. So, unless you guys have any other opinions or suggestions, or don't want them to do it, but I think it'll look good when it's done if we can get it to work. So, okay. The final thing I have is one final document for the bridge project that we did south of North of Stacyville. It's just the final acceptance of the agreement of the work. I know you guys signed one for the final pay voucher and everything else, but one more piece of paper that says you're okay with the project needs to be signed. So it seems like we've got several different approvals we need to get done all the time. So I don't know, did you make a copy?
Yeah.
Okay. So all it is the certificate of completion and final acceptance and agreement of agreement work for the bridge project north of Stacyville, BRS-C066:83/60-60/66. So we get that signed, I get that project closed out, and we can keep moving forward with other projects.
We have a motion to accept the project. Bridge project. Motion is our second. Any other discussion?
Roll call, Mark,
Aye.
Mike.
Aye.
Sydney.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Todd.
This is the one by Carpenter.
No, not yet. That one's coming yet.
I got a call on that.
What's that
I got a call on that
for?
one.
What was the call about?
Wondered why it wasn't done,
What's not done?
payment.
Oh, the closeout? Because we've got to go through DOT audits and stuff yet. So the contractor must have called you. He's calling the wrong people.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I just answered the phone.
yeah, I know. It's in process. We've got audits gonna get started, so.
All righty.
That's all I got for you.
Yes, Mark and I, sure up to speed on an issue that I got, involved with a little bit. So a citizen from Mitchell called me, and is wondering if there's a way the county could post a flashing amber light at or near the posted speed limits on Hickory, southbound out of the community, and then also northbound in. Because of the park activity, a lot of walkers, and she felt it was unsafe at times because of the speed of some of these vehicles, and was just gonna throw that idea out. To me, if that is something that could be done, so I'm just gonna bring that to the board for you guys to think about. No action needs to be taken on it today, just something to think about, if it's even possible. Wherever the posted speed limit sign is, if it's within the city, I told her that it's probably gonna be the city's responsibility, much like Statesville purchased and St. Ansgar purchased. Their speed warning signs, Mitchell may have to do that also, but I thought I'd bring it up to you guys. I told her I would do that, and so that's what I'm doing for your guys' thoughts on that.
Most of it's a curve, and coming around the curve and everything else, it's hard to see. I can understand that.
So that's all I have. Thank you.
Does the person have to drop a power line to the post, or?
Depends if you wanted to do solar or if you want to do hardwire.
Solar's big enough?
Well, you can do a solar, I think you can probably get a pretty good solar beacon too. But I'm gonna guess, when we did the research on this, the flashing stop signs versus a beacon, I think the dollar amount wasn't much different as far as, I think you're paying for a lot for just the unit itself, the batteries, the solar, and everything else. What it's powering is probably, but they probably have the same amount of LEDs in them as they would on a sign versus just a pod of lights, but it's probably, and I haven't looked at them lately, I know that when we did the signs, they were 1,500, but a lot's gone up in the last 10 years, they're probably about $3,000 a piece. My guess, I haven't looked, so.
Ground Scouts still?
Girl Scouts are still around, yep, we're still getting pipes lined and still trying to mud jack some pavement that has settled around culverts, so.
How much more does they have?
I'd have to look again, I haven't talked with Bill lately on where we're at, but they've been working every day.
I talked with Dave yesterday, and they had.
He hasn't contacted
They
you
had
yet?
not contacted him as of yesterday, so.
Okay, I know he's gotta come to Worth County too, so he hasn't contacted my guy over there yet either.
Okay, just
I know he's,
rather than have him mowed back in.
Yep. yeah, he'll be in the area, I think, for quite a while yet,
Okay.
but I will make sure he gets in contact with Dave.
Very good.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you. Discussion on cybersecurity and possible policy changes and additions.
Hello, everyone.
Good morning.
We're asleep here now. So I talked to you guys about, just a little aside, I talked to you guys about some server upgrades that are going to be taking place this year. So the servers that I'm talking about are for the sheriff's office. The ones that are for the courthouse actually are fine. I recently have engaged with a new service provider by the name of Versus. I wasn't getting very good response from our previous one. So I made that new relationship. That set me back for the actual quotes. I do have those going through their legal or whatever they have to go through to get the contract set. So I do owe you those invoices, but I'm saying it's gonna be about $15,000 to complete the upgrade. I'll get the exact numbers for you guys, and that's within budget. So I see that as being the big project that I'm looking at there. So that's all, and I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. Cybersecurity plan. I have worked with a couple different organizations such as our insurance company and CIJS, which is for all the sheriff's side of it. And I basically took the top things that they all wanted and started going down the list of what we need to do. So it was actually interesting. I talked to somebody from Heartland Insurance, and they said that 50% of cybersecurity claims are denied. So we really need to look at matching what they want for what our cybersecurity plan is. So the first thing, and we talked about this again, but we're actually going to do it, is implement AFA. I've started with new machines, new employees to do that. So far, there hasn't been any problem with it. Again, I'll go to everybody individually. The next one is to set a screen timeout of 30 minutes, which just means your laptop or computer is going to lock and you'll have to put in your password after 30 minutes. A screen lock after 5 failed attempts, which just means you can try 5 times and your account is locked out. And then just basic password restrictions. So these are the simplest things on the list that will be non-intrusive. I can implement all of these from the server side. I don't need to go around to everybody other than the MFA. And then in the long term, what we need to look at in the future is a lot of them require phishing training. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but basically it's a program that sends out emails that are phishing emails to test whether an employee clicks the link or not. And if they do click the link, it's not alerted to everybody. Of course, it's just alerted who needs to see it. And then you can have specific training with that employee on what to expect from a phishing email, or trying to avoid that in the future. Because the phishing emails are by far the number one vector that the people are getting the passwords from. KnowBe4 is the vendor that I'm used to working with, and I don't see a problem with using that for us. But that's not something we're looking at right now. There's going to be an update in the sheriff's office that's going to require some money. They're changing the MFA for the sheriff's office computers, the requirements for it. So we will be needing to purchase some equipment for that. Then everything else from there is pretty basic stuff on the cybersecurity. Of course, this is going to be evolving all the time, and it's going to change, but I think this plan moving forward is going to accomplish what we need to when it comes to the Heartland business and all those different organizations.
Yeah, you talked about the 15,000 was in your budget. This long-term stuff, is this next fiscal year, or do you have enough in your budget for that stuff?
I do have enough. It's not necessarily a budget thing. It's pretty inexpensive
Okay.
for the KnowBe4. So I just want to get through certain things that won't take a long time, and that probably would be my next one.
Okay.
I think before the end of the year. Okay. I had 2 policies I sent you guys in an email. They're really boilerplate. It's not a big deal. They're just an acceptable use policy, which everyone signs. It just outlines a lot of actually common sense stuff. Like, don't look up bad things on your computer. Be sure to not share passwords. It's just all that kind of stuff. And it's updated to be a little more with the times, talking about what type of devices. Like the old one had CD or DVD devices. So this is just an update that basically says the same thing with acceptable use. The next one is the password policy. This actually fits into what we were just talking about with passwords. It's nothing new, it's nothing exciting. I just wanted to give you guys a chance to review. One thing under the compliance section of them, I do outline disciplinary actions for certain things. That's definitely not my place to decide if that's a thing or if that's not a thing. It just generally is outlined in these policies. So I just wanted you to be aware of that it's in there, but that's a different conversation. So any questions about the policies? No? Okay, any other IT related questions?
Do you need action from us, or is this just something you're going to implement within IT?
This is just something I'm going to implement it. Most of it, the users aren't even going to know what's happening.
So you're just letting us know today what's happening here.
Yeah, and then just give you an idea of the process and my thought process going forward to address these things.
All right.
And then bring the policies up. Good? All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Discussion about the 2018 agreement with the city of Carpenter.
Morning.
Good morning.
Tom Bauer, City Council. We're having obviously some issues with this whole sewer system. And I think a lot of it has to do with, we don't have a full understanding of the 2080 agreement. If I'm wrong, correct me. Do you guys have copies of it?
Yep.
Okay. I'll start with this, then we can just comment on a few things. Go to attachment A on the last part of the document. It's like the last third page. Attachment A, line 1, ownership of the city of Carpenter sanitary sewer system is Mitchell County is responsible. Mitchell County owns the Carpenter sewer system. It was set up that way initially. We understand. Attachment B.
Is there a question about?
I don't know, I'm just filling you in.
Okay.
Because there's some problems, and hopefully we can get it corrected. attachment D, the next page, line 2. The second sentence says the county will be responsible for payment of necessary maintenance and repairs to keep, the sanitary sewer system functional.
That sentence, what that means is through the administrator, who is Rachel, Rachel makes the payments, but everything, the city of Carpenter, through their rates, pay to maintain the system.
The county is responsible for payment of everything.
Yeah, she makes the payment, she writes a check.
Correct. The city is being strong-armed into having to buy pumps and material to maintain this system. The city does not buy pumps, the city does not own a pump, and we don't pay for any of this stuff. The county pays for this.
You do through your rates.
That's fine. You guys are collecting our money. We collect the money as a city. Our only responsibility, the city clerk collects the monthly payments, turns the monthly payments to Rachel. What happens to that money? We have no idea. We have never seen it since day one. There's been multiple pumps changed over the years. The first few years, there was all sorts of problems. We never saw any documentation. All this was done, paid for by the county. We're not aware of anything. Now, in the last year or two, the county's coming to the city and saying, you don't have any money, you don't have any pumps, what's the city gonna do about this? It's not ours, it's yours. That's been our problem. I don't have an answer. I'm just coming to you because we're being strong-armed into doing this stuff, and we're not doing it.
Long before we were on, I believe that the county took out a loan to help Carpenter sewer system because the DNR made you guys, and you guys didn't have the money.
Correct. I have documentation on all this. I didn't bring it with me. So the whole thing was drawn up as an agreement that the county stepped in initially because the city didn't have the funds or the means to do anything about this. So all the grant money, all that was done through the county. And in doing that, the county owns the system.
My understanding is you guys, the Carpenter is paying us back for that loan.
We're at a monthly fee. Every homeowner is paying a monthly fee. And when this thing was initially set up, our monthly fee, which this was all factored out for the loan payment, to have backup money for maintenance, all this, the fee was set at $42 initially. And over the years, we are now up to $73 a month for our monthly fee. And I'm sure it's gonna go higher because there's not enough money.
So what are you expecting from us, I guess?
We're running into this issue right now. We don't have a pump. We have one, maybe two spare rebuilt pumps sitting in our storage shed. And we need to buy a pump. You need to buy the pump. And we're being strong-armed saying there's no money, can't buy a pump. So everybody crosses their arms. Last week, we had a member of our community with a pump that failed. We didn't have a backup. We didn't have a rebuilt one. Our mayor was going over manually, the pump would pump manually if you hit the switch.
I had to switch the pump.
He had to manually pump the pump. It wouldn't automatically. So 3 times a day, he was going down there and pumping this pump. This shouldn't be happening.
Well, again, the county may own the whole system, but the city of Carpenter is responsible to pay for what needs to be done. Yeah, yes it is. The city of Carpenter is responsible to pay for the system. So if there's pumps that need to be purchased, the county would purchase those pumps, but the city will be reflected through the rates. The taxpayers of the county are not going to totally pay for the Carpenter sewer system.
The county will be responsible for payment of necessary maintenance and repairs to keep the sanitary sewer system functional.
That's Rachel. She will make the payments.
So we're at a head, this is where we're at. This is what I'm saying. Where are we gonna come to some sort of agreement or a settlement on this?
So if we purchase some pumps, then are we gonna have, I mean, there will be a rate adjustment in regards to the operator's rate has went down since last year, went down by $300 a month.
Right.
So,
There's a chance that it's gonna go down another $600 a month. We're gonna vote on it at the next meeting. If I change the pumps, it come down to $1,100 a
Okay.
month, then to do the paperwork.
so to crunch all the numbers, and I don't have those numbers crunched by any means, by some of that happening, there would be money available to purchase pumps without having to have a rate increase because we're purchasing pumps. I mean, that would have to be all figured out. But as far as I'm looking at it, the city of Carpenter pays for the system as far as what happens in the system.
All those spare pumps were non-repairable.
Right.
There's probably
There
10
might-
or 11 of them.
Yeah, there's a bunch of pumps that are junk.
Other than be more and more, aren't they? 'Cause
Yeah, we're coming into a crunch time.
Everything's old.
I own two properties, I have two pumps. One of my pumps is original. It's on my shop, it just has a toilet and a small kitchen, so it's not used much.
Yep.
My house pump's been replaced once. At least every pump in town's been replaced at least once, and some as many as 5 times. But we're gonna come up to an issue where we're gonna have 2 or 3 failures in a week. We don't know. And we have no backup, and we're told, you don't have any money. We collect the money every month and give it to the county. And what the county does with that money, we don't know. A few months ago, we were approached to give nearly $14,000 to the county for an emergency fund. Oh, we're not sure what the deal is with that.
That one's a USDA requirement, and I think it was set up incorrectly from the get-go. From that money, they should have kept the 15,700 number roughly, and they never did, and so we were getting in trouble from the USDA for not having.
So you strong arm the city into paying you $14,000, and
So I want to have a conversation with Rachel without being interrupted, okay? Please. Remind me, Rachel, the 14,000 or the 15,700, what is that for?
The USDA requires a year payment sitting in a reserve fund. If for any reason, like now, if you were out of money, we can pull that money to pay for the payments. But then every year when we have to report, we have to have that dollar amount.
And that's for the loan. That's
For the
not for
loan.
equipment or
Right.
anything else, that's for the loan.
And so there is, I mean, not a whole lot, but a little bit of interest that's getting on there, you know, like right now there's been $13.80 this year so far. That like we can transfer that money over then to the other fund,
The $13 or whatever.
$13.80. We can, just to keep the exact amount that they want in there, you can transfer the rest over there, but.
And the other fund you're talking about is what? What you said?
So the 6700 fund is the Carpenter Sewer, which is where all of the money that they transfer in gets put, or when they send us a check at the end of every month, and then that's where all of our payments come out of. Currently, well, prior to the claims today, there was $8,732.41. And AJ had just turned in his bill yesterday, which is $1,700. And then in there, I believe there's Anna's bill for $148, and then, oh gosh, I think there's the water treatment or something he does in, or where the testing stuff. I think it was maybe like $90 or something was in there, so less that amount. And then the USDA payment, I think it's like $13,0260 a month for the principal and interest. That would come off that.
So what's left?
I don't know the exact dollar amounts that were in claims today, but before the claims today, it was $8,732.41.
so the nearly 14,000 that the city paid the county to put in your emergency fund is still sitting in the emergency fund.
Yeah, so in there right now is $15,766.01.
Okay. I'd like to see documentation as where the city needed to pay for that.
I
Because
mean,
I don't
they
think
should
the
have set
city
it up
needed to
right.
pay for that. I'm just saying.
And it's Pumps like.
This is the county's system. And the county is responsible for all payments. Where that's coming from and where the money's going, we don't know. The rates are set and we send the money to the county. We keep raising these rates. People are already irate and we got people that aren't paying. We know that, Rachel. They go to collections and they put on the taxes and every year we're behind. And these payments are set so tight that if you get 5 people that aren't making a sewer payment, there's your deficit right there.
Right.
You know,
Probably 7 of them.
yeah, we've got multiple, I don't know the number, but we've got a lot that are not making a payment.
And unfortunately, there's no like punishment for them.
There is no punishment. You can't
Besides it
shut,
goes on your
you can't
taxes.
close this off, you know, it's health reasons. So, I don't know, it's frustrating. I was involved in this when it was initially set up. And we knew when this thing was initially set up, this wasn't gonna work. And now we're to that point where right now it's not working. And something has to happen. Whether you refinance a loan, something. You need to look at some options because we can't run on where we are right now. And when we have a big problem, what are you gonna do? You can't say, well, you can't buy a pump because we don't have any money. We gotta have a pump. I'm just bringing this to attention because this has come to a head and all we're doing is clashing and nothing's getting done.
I agree, you need to have pumps, that's not my point, I agree. with that.
Right.
Yes.
But the city of Carpenter's not going out and buying pumps. With what funding? The money we collect goes to the county. We don't have a fund for our sewer. All we do is collect the monthly payment and present it to the county.
So the $8,000, Rachel, is that available to be used to purchase pumps and then?
Right.
And then we could decide if we need to have a rate adjustment, or if the rates are gonna go down even more, we could crunch those numbers, figure out where we're at. How many pumps
I
do
know
we
if we
need?
go down to his 1,100, what he proposed, that's 3 pumps, brand new pumps every year, just by the rate going down. Now, I'm gonna be switching the pumps myself and not charging nothing to do it to try and help the city out to get pumps. And I'm doing it now anyway.
How many pumps do you need now?
We've got 2 rebuilt ones ready to drop in if we need it. But we went probably a month and a half without having one.
Without any backup.
And that's why on a Sunday I had to switch with a pump that I knew could manually pump down. Because it's a new customer, just bought a place and moved into town, you don't wanna treat them. So,
How many pumps do you think that you need to purchase per year in order to have a maintenance type plan?
you gotta have 3.
Minimum
at
of
least
3.
3 new ones.
Minimum of 3.
Purchase
And there
3
should
pumps a
be,
year?
we should be doing something proactive because all these pumps are aged. And they're at their lifespan right now and they're all there, or nearly.
And there's a new style down in Des Moines that's a year longer warranty and $800 or $900 cheaper. And it's a lot better pump.
But we should be replacing, proactively, we should be going around and replacing new pumps every year
And you're
to keep
saying,
this thing updated.
and you're saying 3 pumps a year to purchase?
That's the number we throw out. I'm not an expert on this, but we need to be proactive and right now we're underwater, literally.
Well, I mean, you come to us with the problem, which is fine, and so now I'm just asking the question, what do you want and what do you think you need? So,
Well, we need at least some backup pumps and we're just getting the answer that you don't have any money to buy the pumps. We're not buying the pumps. That's the whole confusing matter here. You're gonna have to fund this, and how you fund it, it's up to you guys, not the city of Carpenter.
You shook your head.
Well, I mean, it is the county's problem because it's our name on the loan, but it's Carpenter's problem, unfortunately. I mean, me as a St. Ansgar resident, I should be paying for Carpenter loans. If you, not to get into the big argument, but it's just, how do you get to the, having money there? I don't know.
Right.
Question, have you gone to AJ to have him purchase pumps? Because then he could.
He did find this place.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah,
And if you buy 3 of them at one shot, you actually get a little discount on all 3 of them.
So
And then
isn't
one
that,
That's the way to do it,
Roughly $4,000, is that what you said?
like 3,100 apiece.
So,
Yeah, so AJ is your employee.
Yeah.
It says in here, he's your
Yes.
employee.
So far, we don't have a contract with him yet. Since your contract ended, he hasn't, he sent it to us now finally. We've got two proposals. Either stay at the 1,700 and he takes care of everything, or we go down to the 1,100 and I switch the pumps myself. Which most of the time I'm home, so by the time he comes into town, I could have it already done anyway.
You have 2 pumps on hand. When do you need another pump purchased?
The new style, the sooner the better.
we should have a new pump on hand. The pumps we have on hand are rebuilt.
Yeah.
These have been in the tanks for 15 years and they've got a couple new parts on them.
And there's money to purchase a pump, Rachel?
I don't know the price of it, but I would guess that there's probably enough to purchase one.
So is the board okay with AJ purchasing a pump?
You get a better price on 3?
You get a better price on 3. It's almost, not quite $100 less on 3, I think.
So you could purchase 3 and take it out of that 15,000 as long as we get that 15,000 back.
15,000 has to stay in for
Yeah,
the,
that's.
But we can tap into that as long as we get it back to 15 before Rachel has to send in the paperwork, right?
You know, that
That's not really how
15,000,
you're supposed
we
to
put
do
that
it.
money in that fund.
We put that money in your fund.
But you did, but we did initially because it wasn't there, and then you guys did it to reimburse us.
Right.
So why can't we buy them 3 pumps under a loan agreement or something, and then see how it goes when they get their rate reduced and stuff? Maybe, you know, they would have funding to pay us back. Just do a 3 pump loan or something to make the boat float, you know?
And that way you would have
'Cause
5,
we
right?
are- 'cause we did-
You'd have to
Because we did borrow the money to put into that thing, and then you guys reimbursed it, yes. But, so we've done that, so why can't we do?
I'm still
3 pumps?
confused on why we reimbursed this money. The city, why did the city reimburse this money?
Because that was part of the loan agreement, wasn't it, from the USDA?
from day one.
Yeah, from day one, it was supposed to be there. I don't know what happened with the money. I mean, I can get the expense.
No,
records,
that'd be
but
impossible to track all that, but
it's- yeah.
I'd like to see the initial agreement where the city had to provide $15,000 to put in this fund. I would like to see that paperwork. I spent 4.5 hours yesterday going through 4 file cabinets of paperwork. I did not find it. So,
In attachment A, in number 3, the county shall establish the cost each year that users of the city carpenter sanitary sewer system will be required to pay in order to service the debt owed by the county to the Rural Development United States Department of Agriculture, United States of America.
yes.
Yeah.
Did you guys set the rate?
We set the rate, yes. You guys pay for what's happening. The taxpayers of Mitchell County are not paying for the carpenter sewer system. We write the check, but you guys pay for the services that if you want to buy 20 pumps, that's fine, but you'll pay for 20 pumps. I mean, the taxpayers of Mitchell County are not going to do that. It's through the rates.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that. Where the money has gone, I don't know. That's,
So to say it a little differently, Mike, I think, I'll just say it a little differently. We have $8,000. Can we,
Minus expenses, yes.
do we have enough to pay for 3 pumps and then
No.
we don't, okay,
you know,
No,
okay,
because she,
maybe one.
okay.
One would probably be stretching it. The way it's,
And put
the
it
numbers
down.
you're throwing out there, you probably don't have enough money to buy 1 pump.
You could probably buy one, you aren't gonna have much left.
Yeah,
And then,
for
I
any
mean,
emergency.
I don't wanna
of any
say
kind.
the alternative is, at least then next month, for the USDA loan, you'd have your reserve to pay that, but you'd have to get the money back in there then by May, I think it is, when I submit the budget.
We need pumps, we need to get them one way or another.
And I know I'm gonna start rebuilding some myself.
You are.
I got a hold of Weber and got all of his
Okay.
equipment to do it.
Okay.
We're taking a lot of time. Just briefly, this 2080 agreement is obsolete, not really obsolete, but it's antiquated. There's a line in there where it says any repair worth $500 needs to be brought to your board in writing before, this is obsolete, you know. I don't know if we need to draw this up or bring this up to date, or if everybody's under an agreement of it, but that's up to you guys, I guess.
Well, it's a two-party thing. I mean, if there's something you want to amend, by all means, bring it to us and we can look at it.
Do you feel it's needed, I guess? Because in writing, that's what it says. If any maintenance is more than $500, it has to be in writing to the board. Well, we can't do that. If somebody's pump's out, you gotta put a pump in.
Correct.
So, you know, and it's been this way since day one. There's never been, that I'm aware of, anything in writing to supervisors on any repair.
I'm sure just the repair kit's gonna be more than $500.
Yeah.
I'll should update it then, huh? Did Aaron, is your attorney get it updated, or?
I think it should be myself.
Is that right here?
I'll agree. It needs
You know,
to
it should be brought and updated.
I don't have it with me, I'm familiar with it, I've read it many times. It's been several months ago since I looked at it last time, but it probably needs to be
Here's
updated.
a copy of it.
I don't know exactly how it would be updated. I mean, the terms, I mean, that would be, you know, a policy decision between the city and the board, but,
Right.
I mean, I think this agreement was drafted well for what was done, but the whole project was kind of,
It was, yeah.
it was,
Yeah,
and
like
you
that.
said it best, you know, you said it was kind of obvious that maybe there were gonna be problems.
There's the problems, and the problems are at full head right now.
But yes, I would do, I mean, whatever I could do to help, I would do it. I mean, you know, if there's, you know,
Get your,
I mean, I think really, everything in here is cut and dried, other than that portion of it where it's saying that any maintenance needs to be in writing.
Yeah, they're $500.
I don't know what dollar amount, we can just figure that out, but
So a dollar amount would you recommend, or
I say at least 5,000.
5,000?
Yeah, like 10 times that, because a pump's nearly 4. And if you have something else, you gotta dig something up.
Yeah.
Whatever, you're gonna get into some big expense then, you know, so multiple thousands.
If you have to jet the line for.
Yeah, right, if we have a failure, and we've had a failure in the past where we had to dig the line up where it broke. So, anyway.
I just don't want to end up having 5,000 in June, and then we have 5,000 in July, and then we have 5,000 in August, and then we just suck the account dry.
Exactly.
So that's an issue too.
It certainly is.
Yes.
I do contact Rachel quite a bit to find out what's in there and stuff, to try and keep up on it.
But I don't know what a proposal is, whether you look at refinancing this loan and upgrading a bunch of stuff. I don't know. I don't have an answer. All I know is there's no money anywhere and we're having problems. So,
I am looking at this and I just wanna, the pumps obviously are part of the operational of the system.
they're the heart of the system.
Yeah, so if we look at attachment B, duties of the city, number 4, billing and collection of fees for sanitary sewer systems provided to all users within the city. Said fees are to provide for operation and maintenance of the system and treatment of wastewater. So we did set as a county the bill, or how much, but to $73, but I'm reading this attachment B, duties of the city. Is that the city's job to set those rates?
No, I don't believe that.
I think it's the duty of the county.
The city collects the rates from
collect-
their taxpayers, from their people.
Yeah, our duty is to collect the payment. And also oversee that the system is being maintained. And that was kind of drawn up that way because we're using the system every day. You know, we're there knowing it's working or not. So it was set up that the city would be responsible for the maintenance side of it, because as soon as a pump goes off, you call Mark Ross. That's how this was set up initially. He was the maintenance man. So that's all that was ever done.
Let's figure out how to buy some pumps. And then see what the rates are.
I said if we do the 1,100, that'd be 3 a year right there.
And when's that gonna happen?
Our next city council meeting, we gotta vote on.
Next month?
We went about a month and a half without even having a spare one rebuilt or anything.
That is.
Gotta have.
I get that, I do.
A thought or a proposal that this is in my head, because this was initially set up with Mark Ross at the county sanitarium, is if your county sanitarium would be involved in doing the monthly testing of the lagoon, the paperwork, the managerial side of it, and Tom would do all the maintenance side of it, the dirty work. If we could come to an agreement there, if the county sanitarium would be interested in doing it for less than $1,100. Just throwing it out there.
You'd probably hire privately, because the county sanitarium is for unincorporated areas of the county.
The county sanitarium did it for 8-10 years.
Did you pay him or no?
Yes, Mark Ross, $750 a month.
So I said you have to pay her privately if she wanted to do it.
No, the city doesn't pay privately. This is yours.
Well, why did
You
you
pay-
why did you pay Mark Ross then?
We did not pay Mark Ross. You paid Mark Ross.
That's interesting.
The city collects $73 a month from every household and gives it to the county. Mark Ross's bill goes to the county. We pay that bill. You keep saying the city pays these things. We're only paying it through our billing. I guess I don't know.
So Mark Ross was paid out of the.
Yes, Mark Ross was
sewer
paid out of the sewer fund.
Yeah, by the county.
Yeah, you keep saying the city's paying this. This is the sewer fund.
I did not know that. I didn't know that happened.
This has been this way anyway.
No, as far as Mark Ross, I did not know that the fund paid Mark Ross. I wasn't aware of that.
Yeah. Because he was the one man.
Yeah, he was our maintenance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that, but I did not know that fund paid Mark Ross.
So we've gone from $750 to $1,700. So you wonder where a deficit is, $1,000 a month more for maintenance.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get this down.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
Was Jared still interested in doing it?
Jared's hard to get a hold of. So,
We set a pump for 4 weeks before we got it rebuilt.
I think you guys need to get 3 pumps, whether it comes out of that surplus money, and maybe by next May, it can be replenished by then, by lowering the rates. Because you don't need to be sitting out there with nothing, I don't know. Can that happen?
That's your guys' decision. That's not mine.
it's not mine either, it's not the city of Carpenter's.
Well, we gotta do something. Can't just sit here and, yeah,
I just question if we can use that fund
use that
to do
fund.
that. That's my only question.
And I do want to see the paperwork where the city of Carpenter had to write a check for $15,000.
Well, the USDA stuff and see what it says on there.
Can you research that, see if we can legally do that?
Mhm.
Or-
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to do something.
You own the system.
I think it was, Tom was maybe like a year ago, we looked into Carpenter taking over everything. And there was like 2 or 3 documents that had to be filled out and sent to the USDA. And then to put it from Mitchell County's name to Carpenter's name.
Everybody on the city council says.
Absolutely, absolutely not.
Yeah. So.
That's why this whole thing was set up this way. We knew it was bad right from the get-go.
Yeah.
But the county came in and stepped up and helped us with this, so, but now we're at this point.
So we'll look into it for next week then, see if we can. All right. Is that all?
That's all I have. Sorry.
No,
No,
You don't have to apologize.
no, this is,
we're here to help.
yeah.
Something has to be figured out.
Yeah.
I mean, plain and simple.
Well, we need to get 3 pumps for right now, I would say, either out of that fund or we borrow money into the fund and hopefully, things, the boat floats with your lower rate.
Yep.
And then
There's
get
600 a month times 12, I mean,
Yeah.
that's 3 pumps right there.
right, so, within a year's time, that's what I would suggest, let's fix it.
There's
Let's do
one
something.
other thing I would like to throw out there is, ever since Tom became the mayor, he's kind of been stepping up and doing this and doing that. And we talked about, you mentioned proactive. Tom won't be around forever, so he's taking a lot of duties that,
And last month, I just about resigned because of nothing else, no accomplices.
yeah,
That's what I meant.
so, that's
Absolutely.
something to think about too. And,
Absolutely.
Did you ever, excuse me,
no, I'm
did
good.
you ever think about selling that tractor anymore or not?
They found out kind of what it's worth and you're better off just keeping it.
Keep
I
it?
did use it to mow the lagoon the last couple weeks ago. So,
Might come in handy in the winter too, if you got a lot of snow.
we got enough skid loaders and
Oh,
other
yeah.
tractors for winter time.
Oh, okay.
I used it to mow a couple weeks, last week in fact.
Yep.
And stuff, so.
All right. Moving on, discussion and possible action, approval of 2080 agreement.
So this has to do with the, I'll just name it, the project that we put on hold last summer. And with the vendor that we have licenses from that we purchased 500 licenses. We are in year 1 of that. Floyd County has showed interest in also utilizing this system. And so it would split it at 250 licenses per county. I've had a number of emails with the vendor, with emergency management of both counties, IT of both counties. Came up with some dollar amounts. Sent that information to Aaron. He put things together, drafted this 28E between us and Floyd County. So I'm just wondering if the board wants to move forward with sharing the licenses that we're not going to use.
I think so, I mean, it's been working, so. Saves us some cost too.
We have a motion to go in agreement with Floyd County, 2080 agreement.
So moved.
Motion is there a second?
I'll second.
Any other discussion?
Roll call, Todd.
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Sydney,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Mark.
Aye.
Who seconded that?
Mike.
I did.
Wait.
Items of note, meetings attended?
I had nothing.
Nothing.
Nope.
I had nothing this week.
I had nothing.
Must've been a fair week. Manure management update.
Anderson Finisher Farm, 3258 440th Street, Riceville. Primrose South Farm, 4417 Primrose Avenue, Little Cedar. Shadow Finisher Farm, 4550 Underwood Avenue, Riceville. And Hogville Corp, 4147 Hickory Avenue, Scenic Street.
Public comments. Any public? Okay, we'll adjourn the meeting at 9:24. Thank you.
Yes, sir.